The electric car, a future for urban sustainability. Contrary to popular belief, the idea for the electric motor isn't new. In fact, it began almost 2 centuries ago, when automobiles in general were starting to become a thing. In the 1800s, inventors all over the world began building and testing different kinds of engines, and eventually putting these engines into cars. It was around this time that the discipline of mechanical engineering was born. In the 1830s, British inventor Robert Anderson built the first electric car. However, his vehicle was crude and somewhat inefficient, and it was only until the 1890s when the electric vehicles started to become practical. American chemist William Morrison debuted the first successful electric vehicle in 1890. Compared to other automobiles, especially gasoline vehicles, electric cars did not create any pollutants, nor required much physical work to maintain. They were quiet, easy to drive, and because of that, became quite popular in urban areas. The 1900s were the first golden age of electric vehicles. Around a third of all cars on the road were electric at the time, and remained popular for around a decade. Even Thomas Edison was interested in the idea of electric cars and became involved in the development of the electric car battery. However, when the Model T debuted in 1908 and was eventually mass-produced, its low price and availability contributed to the decline of sales in electric automobiles. Gasoline became more abundant with the discovery of Texas crude oil, and by the 1930s, all electric vehicles were practically wiped out. Almost 40 years later, the idea of electric vehicles became popular again with the oil prices increasing dramatically. Research in electric motors began once again, and with the 1971 lunar rover, the first manned vehicle driven on the moon being electric, the idea became popular once again. Many companies began looking into developing electric cars, the most successful being arguably the Sebring Vanguard City car. This was an all-electric compact car capable of having a range of 50 to 60 miles, and was successful enough to make the automaker the US's sixth largest by 1975. However, the drawbacks of electric vehicles were still present, including a still poor range and limited performance. It was finally until the 1990s when electric cars really began to progress. This began with governments around the world becoming concerned with vehicle pollution and eventually passing legislation regulating vehicle emissions. Once again, the idea of a pollutant-less vehicle drove engineers to seek new transportation options through electricity. In 1990, General Motors' EV1 electric vehicle was the first to showcase a modern, reliable concept for an electric car. Unfortunately, production costs for the battery made the concept never commercially available. By 2000, however, Toyota solved the problem by introducing the Prius, a hybrid vehicle that was cheap and mass-produced. As battery technologies evolved, the ranges of electric vehicles improved, and in 2008, a then startup company, Tesla, introduced that it would start producing luxury electric cars that had ranges of up to 200 miles per charge. Research and development of electric vehicles skyrocketed since then, and today there are more than 20 electric vehicles and almost 40 hybrid cars that are available to consumers. This not only includes personal cars, but commercial vehicles and buses as well. The future for electric cars is bright, and development for more efficient and cheaper batteries is more rapid than ever. The day is not far when all vehicles on the road could potentially be electric. From the early pioneers to today's leading manufacturers, mechanical engineers have worked throughout history to create a car that performed well, was efficient, but most of all, was sustainable and good for the environment.